Hi guys and welcome back. I wanted to wish you guys all a happy new year. I hope you all enjoyed your New Year's Eve parties, and I wanted to give you guys this fresh and soft smoky eye using mainly Urban Decay products. So let's get started. I'm starting with my Naked Skin foundation, and just 2 pumps is pretty much enough for my entire face. Although this may look a little light on my skin, it actually oxidizes, so it looks fine after a while, plus I'm going to bronze it up. So anyway, just buffing this really well into my skin and then moving on to my concealer. Now, if you guys watch my videos, you know that I don't always use concealers, and instead sometimes I'll just use a highlighter like this one, and you know, I feel like it conceals and highlights at the same time. So just really applying this in the necessary areas and then again buffing it with the same brush. This brush is by Demolition Tools, and I actually love this brush. I always use it in my videos. So after that, just setting everything with just a setting powder very lightly and moving on to my primer. Using Potion by Urban Decay to prime my eyes, and I'm just using a flat brush to really deposit this onto my lids. I'm choosing this Baked Bronzer by Urban Decay to really bronze my face, and as you can see, this is such an amazing color for my skin. It's buildable, so I like that. Also, it's not very harsh when you first apply it, so if you have just a light hand, you can just go over it a few times and really naturally bronze your face. So this is definitely one of my favorite bronzers out there, and I just discovered it, so even better. So I'm just naturally giving my skin a glow, and this is, like I said, it's buildable, so I'm just building the color just a few times, going over the same areas. And I am going to cover my eyelids as well as the top of my nose because I do want this to be a very natural finish. So that's pretty much why I'm covering all those areas. Alright, on to my blush. This is a cream-based blush by Urban Decay, and it's a lovely blush. It's not very pigmented, which is a good thing because you don't want to be, you know, overwhelmed with hot pink cheeks and then having to blend them out. So it's better to have it be buildable than have it be super pigmented. So definitely like this blush. Moving on to my eyebrows. This is a really cool eyebrow set. I just bought this from Sephora, and it comes with tweezers and a small brush, which is awesome because everything's basically in the same packaging, including the wax that I'm applying right now. And it comes with 2 different shades, and you can either mix it up or just use one of the shades. So just lightly filling my eyebrows. I don't like harsh looking eyebrows, so I try to keep them very soft and natural. And of course giving it a nice brush to soften the look. So just using the same bronzer to define my crease with a big fluffy brush. Moving on to one of my favorite palettes by Urban Decay, the original Naked palette. It's kind of falling apart because I've had this for a while, so forgive me for that. But I'm going to show you how I like to highlight my skin using the first 2 colors from the palette, Virgin and Skin. With a small fluffy brush, I like to mix the 2 colors together and highlight my brow bone, top of the nose, and the Cupid's bow. Now on to my eyes. I am starting with the color Smog. This is a beautiful bronze color, and I'm just defining my crease with this color. So just building this color onto my crease, and then I'm going to switch over to a smaller brush. This is a double-sided brush by Stila, and I'm just using the smaller side of it to define my bottom lash line. Using the color Half Baked and the other side of the Stila brush to apply this on my lids. Again, using the same side of the brush, I'm using the colors Virgin and Skin together to highlight the inner corners of my eyes. On to a deeper brown from the palette. This is a Dark Horse. This is a beautiful dark brown. I'm just applying this on my crease using the 217 brush by MAC, and then going to blend it out with the big fluffy brush. This is the 224, but even Demolition Tools has something very similar to these brushes. Of course, you can use the brushes that come with the palette. I just for some reason lost all my brushes that came with my Urban Decay palette, so but yeah, you can use any brush basically to apply with one and blend with a fluffier brush. I'm using the 24/7 Glide On eye pencil in the color Eldorado, using this just on the inner corners of the bottom lash line. Moving on to the black one of the 24/7 Glide On eye pencils, these are really cool actually. They're pretty creamy, but they do last all night. And I'm just applying this on the upper rim of my eye as well as my top lash line in a very messy way because I'm going to blend this out in just a minute. Using the pointier side of the Stila brush to really blend this. And like I said, these eyeliners are pretty cool because they're creamy, and if you want to create a smoky eye especially, these are awesome because you can apply it and then just blend it out with a brush. Applying the same eyeliner on the bottom lash line, but keeping it just halfway because I do want this to be a softer smoky eye, so I'm using the same thing on the other side. So the trick to this soft smoky eye is to really blend the eyeliner. You don't want it to show, you want it to blend with the eyeshadow, so you kind of want it to be invisible, using the same trick for the top as well as the bottom lash line. And of course, no look is complete without popping on some mascara, so apply your favorite mascara on the top as well as the bottom lashes. I'm going to apply the brown one of the 24/7 Glide On eye pencils, and this is just going on the inner rim of my eye and creating a very soft brown look. And some last minute touches using the same colors, just going over it, making sure it's well deposited, and then curling my lashes. You don't have to do this step, obviously. I just like to curl my lashes for more of a dramatic lash look. For my lips, I'm going to be using these Lip Junkie lip glosses by Urban Decay, and I'm going to start with the color Crush, apply this, and then really blend it with my ring finger. By the way, these are plumping lip glosses, and that's probably why I like them a lot, and they're not sticky, so they go on very smooth, and they sort of just glide onto your lips. Crush is definitely my favorite color, but I'm going to apply Naked No. 2 just to soften the pink. Now this is a really cool trick you guys can try at home. Using your blush and just a fluffy brush, apply this on your crease because it's going to give it a very nice and warm look, and it's going to match with your cheeks, your lips. It kind of like everything just blends really well together when you do this. Yeah, so this is the complete look. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and can try this at home. And please subscribe for more of my videos, and I will see you next week. Have a happy new year.